Hey everyone! So, a while back we put out a video on crazy laws that you guys absolutely loved. So, we decided to dig a little deeper and found even more weird and wacky laws from around the world. From surprisingly chivalrous regulations in New Mexico to underwater laws that just don't make any sense, get ready because this is going to be a legal roller coaster. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 bizarre laws from around the world. 25. The Nude Bathing Law. Back in 1909, Kelowna, Canada had a rather peculiar law about skinny dipping. It wasn't a blanket ban, oh no. Instead, nude bathing was only prohibited in Okanagan Lake, and only between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. So, early birds and night owls could take a dip in their birthday suit without any fear of legal repercussions. Thankfully, modern laws are more straightforward, making it clear that public nudity is a no-no, except in designated areas. 24. The one about socks. While you may not give much thought to your taxi driver's feet and ankles, well, the city of Halifax certainly does. A local bylaw mandates that all cab drivers have to wear socks, even though their feet are rarely visible to passengers. It's a strange little stipulation in the law that might cause you to chuckle, but hey, at least you know those drivers are putting their best socked foot forward. What? 23. When you're a pretender. It's human nature to embellish a story or two. But in Washington state, there's one tall tale you can't tell, claiming that your parents are loaded. The legislation was enacted to stop fraudulent activities like securing loans under false pretenses. So, if you're thinking about name-dropping your fictional multi-millionaire parents, think again. Now, if you thought that was bizarre, you should know that misrepresentation takes a decidedly more colorful turn in Kentucky. Here, it's illegal to dye a duckling blue and offer it for sale unless you have more than 6 available. For some reason, the state has to protect people against buying novelty-colored poultry. 22. The Chivalrous One. In some parts of New Mexico, chivalry isn't dead. It's the hardly enforced law. Believe it or not, there are places where it's technically illegal for women to pump their own gas or change a flat tire. This long-forgotten law, a relic of bygone gender roles, gives us a glimpse into a time when ladies were seen as damsels in distress and had to be rescued, even at gas pumps. 21. The law against odd names. In Honduras, naming your child might soon require a bit more legal consideration. The government is proposing a ban on extravagant or offensive names to shield children from potential ridicule. The law could even allow kids to sue their parents for giving them their embarrassing monikers. So if you're a soon-to-be Honduran parent, you might want to think twice before naming your child Llanta de Milagro or Bujia, as those names might soon land you in legal hot water. 20. No foreigners without permits. Dreaming of a Cuban getaway? Well, be sure to check the fine print before you decide to crash on your friend's couch. While Cuba welcomes visitors with open arms, staying in private homes comes with a few rules. If your pal's place isn't a registered casa particular, then you need a special permit. So double check your paperwork to avoid any unexpected hiccups if you find yourself on your tropical adventure. 19. Studded tires. Metal studded tires are usually reserved for icy roads or muddy trails, which makes it a bit weird that some rebellious drivers apparently decided to bring their off-road fantasies to the Caribbean. Perhaps they craved the aggressive growl of their tires against the pavement, or maybe they were just really nostalgic for their winter rally days. Whatever the reason, their antics clearly got on the government's nerves, leading to a ban on the pavement shredding tires. 18. The Patriotic One. Have you ever wondered what it's like to have your country's anthem blasted in your living room twice a day? Well, I guess that depends on who's singing it. Some voices might make you want to change the channel. But in Colombia, it's not just a patriotic tradition, it's the law. At 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day, public radio and television stations must play the national anthem. If anything, it's a unique way to start and end your day. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or winding down after work, you can count on hearing those familiar notes reminding you of the Colombian spirit. 17. Makeup laws. If you're a man living in or traveling in Sudan, sporting a touch of eyeliner or a dab of foundation could land you in hot water. In fact, it's actually illegal for men to wear makeup and for women to apply it to them. The law is rooted in the nation's Islamic principles and is in place to maintain traditional gender roles and modesty standards. So, if you're traveling to Sudan, rather leave your makeup bag at home and embrace the natural look. 16. The killing of animals. In India, even harming the smallest creature can have serious consequences. The law states that anyone who maims or kills an animal worth more than 10 rupees that's about 12 US cents, could face jail time or a hefty fine. You may find this surprising, but it reflects India's deep-rooted respect for all living beings, regardless of their monetary value. So whether it's a stray dog or a pigeon pecking at your leftovers, think twice before swatting them away. 15. Whatever you do, don't give a moose booze in Fairbanks, Alaska. How would you feel about offering a moose a cold one? Well, in Fairbanks, Alaska, that's a big no-no. Legend has it that a local bar owner's pet moose developed a taste for beer, courtesy of generous patrons. However, the sight of a tipsy moose stumbling through the streets wasn't exactly a hit with the mayor, who promptly had the city council pass a law to nip this boozy behavior in the bud. So never, ever share your brew with a Fairbanks Bullwinkle, or you could find yourself in illegal moose hap. 14. Wearing underwear. Thailand, the land of smiles. And mandatory underwear? It's true. While you won't find any underwear/fashion police patrolling the streets, going commando in the land of smiles is technically illegal. So whether you're island hopping or temple exploring, make sure your undergarments are up to code. And if not, we don't want to know about it, please. 13. Pirating in New Zealand. In New Zealand, pirating movies and music won't get you in hot water with the authorities, unless you tick off the copyright holders. Unlike most countries where it's the police who will come knocking, in New Zealand, the angry artists and studios get to chase you down. And while there's no longer a 3 strikes rule, they can and will still take legal action if they catch you downloading their content illegally. Just stick to legal streaming services instead. Nobody needs to be a pirate in this day and age. And speaking of bizarre, you know what else is bizarre? The fact that you haven't liked, shared, commented, or subscribed yet, so go ahead and do that. It really helps the channel so we can keep making videos just like this. Also, don't forget to check out our socials. 12. Drinking wine in Bolivia. In Bolivia, married women are legally limited to just 1 glass of wine in public. Apparently, the powers that be believe a second glass might unleash your inner flirt, or something like that. Now, while this antiquated rule is never enforced, it's a stark reminder of the lingering gender inequalities in some parts of the world. Inequalities that definitely wouldn't fly here in the US. But I do believe that if a Bolivian husband were to remind his wife of this law after just 1 glass of wine, well, it might just be their last anniversary dinner together. 11. Smoking indoors. Uruguay, a trailblazing nation in public health, is the first country in Latin America to ban smoking in all indoor spaces. Implemented in 2006, this groundbreaking law covers everything from bustling bars and cozy restaurants to even private workplaces. While it might be a bummer for smokers, it's a major victory for public health, protecting everyone from the dangers of secondhand smoke. And let's not forget the added bonus: no more lingering smoky smell clinging to your clothes, hair, and skin. 10. The featherbed law of Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires might be known for its passionate tango, but featherbeds are strictly off limits. The fluffy sleep havens are actually 100% illegal in the city, thanks to lawmakers who feared they might lead to inappropriate activities. Go figure. So while you can still cuddle up with your sweetheart in Buenos Aires, you'll have to do it on a regular mattress. 9. Bibles in the Maldives. Are you lucky enough to be heading to the Maldives? Well, you should know that it might be better to leave your beach reads at home, unless they're strictly non-religious. This island paradise strictly forbids bringing anything considered contrary to Islam, which includes Bibles and other religious books. So while you can soak up the sun and enjoy the stunning scenery, you might want to swap that spiritual reading for a romance novel, horror, or a thrilling mystery. 8. TV licenses in South Africa. In South Africa, owning a TV isn't as simple as plugging it in and grabbing the remote. Nope, you gotta get a license first. That's right, before you can binge watch your favorite shows, you need to show the government some love and pay up for the privilege. Now, I've got it on good authority that most South Africans find ways to get around this particular bit of legislation, but it's a fact that those who get caught can face fines or even jail time for unlicensed viewing. 7. Finland's candy tax. In most countries, you'll find some version of income taxes, property taxes, and even sales taxes. And then there's Finland's candy taxes. That's right, this Nordic nation actually taxed all things sweet, from chocolate bars to gummy bears. However, the Finnish sweet tooth refused to be tamed, as the tax was eventually scrapped in 2017 after a sugary revolt. Today, visitors can indulge in Finnish candies without any extra cost, but it just goes to show that even the most well-intentioned policies can sometimes be a little too hard to swallow. 6. The Mickey Mouse ban. Mickey Mouse might be a global superstar, but he wasn't always welcome in Romania. In 1935, the governments banned him from screens, fearing that his big-eared appearance would scare the children. Can you imagine the outrage if that happened today? While it's a funny anecdote in Mickey Mouse's history now, it actually highlights how cultural perceptions can differ, even when it comes to what most of us see as a beloved cartoon character. 5. Sky views for all. In Germany, office workers practically have a legal right to a view of the sky. While there's no explicit law, strict regulations on health, safety, and natural light mean most offices have windows. This prioritization of workers' well-being certainly speaks volumes about the country's commitment to creating healthy and productive workspaces. If you ask me, it might just also explain why Germans are so good at engineering and innovation. All that natural light must be fueling their creativity. 4. Don't discuss Morocco's royal family. In Morocco, it's best to keep your royal opinions to yourself. Criticizing, mocking, or even speaking ill of the Moroccan king or royal family is a big no-no. In fact, it's illegal under the country's lèse-majesté laws. So if you're planning a trip to this North African nation, it might be better to keep your thoughts on the monarchy strictly private. Otherwise, you could find yourself facing jail time for nothing more than making the mistake of expressing your opinion. 3. Tunisia's currency controls. Should you ever decide to visit Tunisia, and if you're a Star Wars fan, yeah you should, you may be surprised to learn that you're not allowed to bring Tunisian dinars into or out of the country. So if you're the kind of traveler who prefers cold hard cash over plastic, you'll need to play by a different set of rules here. Exchange your money for the local currency as you go, and make sure to spend it all before you leave. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in a sticky situation with the authorities. 2. Montenegro's road safety rule. Nestled in the heart of the Balkans, Montenegro is a feast of visual eye candy full of stunning coastlines, rugged mountains, and charming historic towns. The small country has it all. Hot and dry summers, mild, rainy winters, and even snowy mountain peaks. However, before you set off on a Montenegrin adventure, know that there is one crucial traffic law. Always keep your headlights on. The diverse terrain and varying weather conditions often create visibility challenges. By keeping your headlights on, drivers play a massive role in ensuring safer roads. 1. The gender disparities in Yemeni divorce law. For the final item on today's list, I thought we'd take a look at the messy world of divorce laws in Yemen. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. Here, a husband can say, "I divorce you" 3 times and boom, it's over. Just like that. Meanwhile, a woman who wants out of her marriage, well, she faces a whole different story. It's a long, drawn-out legal battle, and even then, the odds are stacked against her. It's a system that gives men all the power and leaves women vulnerable and marginalized. So, the next time you hear someone talk about progress and equality, maybe remind them that in places like Yemen, there's still a long way to go. And for the women caught in this archaic system, the fight for justice continues. So, if you like today's list, I'm pretty sure you'll like to dive down the rabbit hole of our previous list, 25 unexplained events from around the globe. The good news is, it's just a click away. From unsolved mysteries and stories that'll leave you scratching your head to unexplained phenomena. If it sounds like your thing, just click right here. Check it out.